In this video, we're going to talk about the recent updates to the multiple axes chart by xViz. To get us started, we're going to talk about the new Annotations feature. This allows you to create an annotation on a certain data point simply by clicking on the Annotations icon and selecting Create Edit. Then you can click on a specific data point and create that annotation. I'm going to provide a custom message such as Summer Sale, and we can even reference the filters applied in the visual or the measure itself, such as orders. And we can change the color of that to green, for example, and click Save. Now we have our green annotation showing up for users to see. Now let's create another annotation on this small December bar. Click on it. Let's color it red to highlight that it is an exception. And let's select the icon option and enter in the custom message December shortage and click Save. So now this icon is going to show up, which we can hover over and see the annotation applied to this data point. In the utility menu, we can change the way that we interact with the visual. For example, we can click on deviation bar and see the deviation between data points. We can also select external URL. With a single click on a data point, it will launch an external web page. So we can navigate to any web page of our choosing. We can even pass in URL parts in case we need to filter an SSRS report, for example. With the drag selection options, we can choose to use lasso or inverse lasso. For example, if I select lasso, we can drag and select certain data points. Now I'm going to remove my orders and customers and add the customer category to the legend well. We can change the chart type to create a stacked column chart. Let's do that with column stacked. From here, we can show a single total data label with the column totals option. And we can even enable the shared tooltip in the general settings with enable shared tooltip, and now hovering over any bar will show every category in a single tooltip. We can change the chart type in the series types. We can change that to a line chart, a spline chart, or even a lollipop chart. We also have the option for an area stack chart or a spline stack chart. Switching over to another chart, we can add data labels to each individual series in the formatting options under data labels. Let's turn that on. I'm going to turn it off for my total revenue bar chart. Let's turn that off. And I'm going to add the background for the other series. From here, we can choose to display which data labels we show. For example, we are showing all. We can show last instead. So now we can see we are only showing that last data label, or min and max. And we can do that for each individual series. We can even format each individual series with the number formatting option. If we select customers, for instance, we can change our decimal places to 0, and we see that that changes that specific series. There are also numerous X and Y axis options. If we go to X axis, for example, we can change the way that we rotate this label. For example, I'm showing it at negative 45 degrees. If I want something like negative 90 or negative 30, we can choose to do so for both the X and Y axes. There's also the ability to enable word wrap in case your axes labels are very large. In this same category, we can also enable breadcrumb, which will enable this breadcrumb to show as you drill down between the categories. For example, if I drill down to another month, we can see that our previous categories show 2015 and September. We can also choose to set the series order manually or let the visual decide for us. For example, if I were to change our bar to show as value axis 4 to put it on the end, and under chart options, if we disable auto series order, we will see that my bar chart is showing in front of the other series. But if I turn that back on, we can let the visual decide what the order of the series should be in order to show all of the series on the visual. These are some of the top updates to the multiple axes chart by xViz.